Okay, how do you make the perfect real estate offer? So simple. You want to start by determining the after repair value. Okay, how do you make the perfect real estate offer? So simple. Doesn't even really matter what you're buying. You want to typically use this formula for single families and small multifamily properties. You want to start by determining the after repair value. All right, we refer to this as an ARV, and it's the value of the property after you fix it up. So you're going to have to figure out what the repairs are in the process. All right, and the ARV is just going to be comps. You look at the comps, and that's going to be how you determine your ARV. So your ARV multiplied by a discount rate minus your repair costs, and then if you're wholesaling minus a wholesale fee. This is the formula, and the whole time, right, we're solving for what is referred to as our MAO. So let me explain this and break it down for you, make it much easier. MAO is the max, all right, the most allowable offer. So I'm going to write max offer here, but it's the max allowable offer. That's what that is. So we're going to determine what is the max that we can offer, so we can offer a little bit less, or in some cases a lot less. So this is the formula. It's the MAO formula, but we start with the ARV, and that's why I started there. Now it's a little confusing when you don't know the whole formula, but this is where we're always going to start when we're buying or making an offer on a piece of real estate. So we start with the ARV, which is the comps. So we're going to look at the recently sold properties in the area. We're going to find properties from Zillow. I love using Batch, PropStream. There's a ton of places to look at comps. You can even use Zillow to find your comps. But you want to find 2 or 3 or 4 properties that have sold recently on the MLS and were close by, similar size, and recently, right? So these are your factors, and there's a whole other bunch of videos on how to run comps. But we start with the comps and we determine the ARV. Now, if you ask somebody the ARV of a property and then you ask another person, you're going to probably get different answers. And that's okay. The reason is the repairs are what's going to make your ARV. So you're going to find comps, and there's a bunch of nice houses, you're going to see those ranges. And if there's a bunch of not so nice houses, you're going to see those ranges. And depending on the repairs that you do to get your house to the similar ones will be the ARV. So not everybody's ARV is going to be the same number. That's okay. It's what you think the after repair value is. What you're going to do is once you determine your comps and you get your ARV, you are going to multiply that by what we like to refer to as the discount rate. All right, and the discount rate is typically going to be 70%. Now, recently with the market as competitive as it is and inventory being short, I'm buying properties at 0.75 and 0.8. But in a perfect world, you want to be at 0.7. All right, so 0.7 for your discount rate, 0.7, which really that equals a 30% discount. It's your discount rate. ARV, I need to put that up here. And that equals your after repair value. So ARV, let's run through kind of an example. Let's say we find comps for something similar and it's 200K. We're going to multiply that by 0.7. And then we're going to take out our repairs. Well, this subject property that we find, right? This is our property right here. We find a seller, they're motivated, and we call them up and say, we want to buy your property. We're going to make it really easy for you. We're going to buy it quick and pay you cash, and it's going to be as is. So you don't need to clean it up or fix it or any of that stuff. And let's say that this property really needs like, $45,000 worth of work, 45K. all right? But we know that when we fix this property up, because we have comps showing that similar properties in the area for this subject property recently sold and they're similar, both 2-story 3-2s, something simple like that. But the repairs are going to be $45,000. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, the ARV is 200. The discount rate in a perfect world is 0.7, but you may have to do a little higher in a competitive market. But we're going to use 0.7 minus our repairs, which is this, minus $45K. And if we're trying to wholesale this property, we probably don't need to add a fee at 0.7. But even if we did and we wanted to wholesale, let's just say 5K, assuming we may want to wholesale it. 5K, okay? So let's run this equation. 0.7 of 200 is 140, minus 45 is 95, minus 5. So this right here should equal 90K, right? Or 95, 140 minus 45 is 95, minus the 5 is 90. It's 90K, all right? So 90K will be what we did on the right side. Now here's where we have to really think. ARV 200, discount rate 0.7, repairs 45K, wholesale fee 5. We've established 90. Well, that means the MAO, that's the max allowable offer. So we're not going to offer 90. That's the max that we can pay. And we might not get the opportunity to buy this house for 3 months or 6 months or maybe a year in some cases. So that's the number that makes sense that we can essentially get to in the end of our negotiation. We're willing to go to that number, but we don't want to lead with that number. That would be foolish because then we don't have any wiggle room. So in this case, the max allowable offer is 90, but we are going to come in and we're going to offer, let's say, $78,800. The reason we offer that is because it looks calculated. I just made up that last part. 78's lower than 90, and it gives me room to come up. So if I make this offer to them, day one, and I don't get it, and I'm following up with them, and they say, Dave, we're too far apart. We need to be at, 100,000. We know it needs almost 50 grand worth of work, but we also know that the comps show that it's worth 200 fixed up. And 78 is just way too low. Okay, I get it. All right, well, let me know if things change. We call back, we follow up, we offer 85, right? We come up, and they say, Dave, that's still too low. So 85 the second time. That's the second time we make the offer. Still too low. We can't come to a conclusion, and they're at 100-ish, give or take. Well, then that last time, or maybe this is even the 30th time, but we follow up. And then eventually we offer 90. Sometimes we can do this on the second or third time. But if we're really far apart, we can't chase the deal. We have to set a low anchor, follow up with that number, and have wiggle room to come up. So even if this is the third time or the 30th time, this is the MAO. That's the most we can pay, and it's the last number we get to. So the quicker and sooner you get to the last number, that's not the best in most cases if you don't think that they'll take that number and that offer. So you gotta negotiate with people. But this is the formula, and this is how we do it. All right? It's the simplest way to determine if it's going to make sense or not for you as the investor. Now, you may be thinking, okay, I see you got 200 for the comps and you multiplied it by 0.7 and you know it's 45K, but where's the 0.7 come in? Like, I don't understand the discount rate. Let me explain that. The discount rate at 0.7 or a 30% discount, you multiply by 0.7 to get the 30%. The discount essentially at this number is giving you approximately 20% profit. So the cost to sell a home is typically going to be between 7 and 9%. So just round it up to 10%, anything that you save when you're selling a property is going to be a bonus, but you can't count that in. So essentially what we do is we say it's going to be a 10% cost to sell it. If you're an agent and you can do this on your own, that's going to be even cheaper. But most people are going to need an agent to get full retail, right? So 10% is your cost to sell. Well, at a 30% discount, that's 10% cost to sale, and that's 20% profit. And that's really the goal. So if you go to 0.7, then that means you're at a 25% discount, 10% cost to sale. At that rate, you would be at a 15% profit at 0.75. So you gotta understand that if you don't discount the property, you're not gonna have good success in flipping it wholesale, fixing it up, and selling it, or especially doing the BRRRR method and acquiring the rental asset with little to none of your own money. None of those things are going to be possible. You make your money when you buy. You get paid when you sell. Period. That's the first rule of real estate investing. You make your money when you buy, you get paid when you sell. Period. So you got to factor in the discount rate, and the discount that you're buying at. So I like to buy no matter what at a 15 to 20% discount. If it needs work and I can add value with the rehab, then I'll go up and I'll pay 85 basically, 15% discount, 0.85. But typically I like to be at 0.8 or lower, and a good deal is typically at 0.7, right? If you have a good discount, you don't necessarily need to calculate in a wholesale fee because it's already kind of padded in, right? You can kind of look at that both ways. But essentially, 0.7 is going to be a great deal typically all day. And if you're willing to pay more in competitive markets, you can go up from there. But guys, this is just a quick little video. I'm learning my new eCam, my new eGlass, and I just wanted to make some content to test this out. So hopefully you learned what the MAO formula is, why we use it, how we use it, and all investors are essentially using something like this, something very, very, very similar. And we kind of work it backwards to get to where we need to be. Thanks for watching, guys.